cropping, the crops that are actually now meaning sailing all over the world, and which this more of an organized business. And I said that he who controls food controls our lives, controls our health, controls our family. So it is important as a nation to actually begin to now introspect such relationships that we have, and come to a consensus whereby we say to anybody that brings anything that is deadly, we say to them, because we've got intellectuals, we've got professionals, we've got land, we've got all things that are required in order for us to domestically become a great, exporters of the very agriculture, or maybe agricultural food that we are producing. But now I want us to go through this for just a while, that South Africa needs a long-term ecological production, and also an equitably available supply, and also the availability of food. We need that in South Africa because we are food makers. We are known like that. We have been food makers since then and to date. Now, to go further there, we also have to also understand that as the government of EcoForum, we initiate community gardens. We have started that, and we are going to actually do it in each and every house in South Africa. We need more yard. We need to do away with the RDP, get more yard, and get a bit of food behind our homes, so that we are not proud coming into some setup and organized hubs in the mall, where we get our carrots and all that. Let us actually have our gardens, and so that we can have the basic in our homes. You've got your tomato, you've got your cabbage. So EcoForum will be champion in that. We're not talking about someone who gets a tender. No, we're talking about giving a seed to every South African in this land. And I tell you, this will be one of the ways, not just of alleviation of poverty, but of eradication, because we would have started a process in how we want to see our people living. And you remember that when our elders had to actually plant, they actually had the produce which was of good health, and they lived for many years. But today, people are even getting sick, not even knowing what's going on with them. And now tonight, we are about to now begin to open up this worm. And once you open up this can of worm, people will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Now, let me just continue a bit before I give it to the doctor. Now, hear me as I say to you that again, now as the government of EcoForum, we also speak something which is of difference here. We're saying, let there be community gardens. Let there be what you call community land care. And that will also initiate or begin to now encourage local markets. And when it encourages local markets, it will definitely develop local investment. And as we improve also, meaning our youth participation in agriculture, because that is of importance. Not youth should not be technological only, when it comes to any other thing, with any other mechanism, but we need to also be technological, even as it comes to agriculture, so that we can be a watchman of the food that our people eat. We need to actually take responsibility of the very food that our people consumes, because the produce of the food determines the lifespan of a nation. So now my problem is that how come that we have all the intellectuals with such ignorance to the matter that we all know, which I'm going to come to it because I believe it's sensitive, and it will have to be in the parliament in our next sitting. Now hear me, that as we say now, we need to also, as we improve youth, to what? To also participate on this, on agriculture, and also protect in perpetuating prime agricultural land. Because we cannot always talk land in order to bring forth informal settlement. We can't allow land to be for informal settling. Land must be for produce. It must be for market. So now I hear the thing of land. That's why we need land diplomacy, so that we are diplomatic in how we do stuff. We are not just coming out emotionally in order to say, let's take it. Now, when land is being restored, there is a need, and also we need to bring an intelligentsia that speaks what? That speaks land diplomacy, in order for us to begin to what? To take care of our agricultural land. and also our agricultural water supply, because we need to know where to get water for people to drink and where to get water for what? For our plants and also for our crops. Now that is where, as the government of EcoForum, we are drawing our strength in order to make sure that we will be able to address matters of food security in our nation. Now, lastly, also make policy compliance for agricultural production and supply rest on the what? On the principle of ecological sustainable development. That's very key. It's very much key. Now, Dr. Mafura, let me just take it there, because now I need us to quicken this matter so that we bring it down to them. Because you spoke household income, and you spoke that people are not able to buy good food, which is organic food. People can't actually, get to the kind of food that they must actually consume. The reason being the monies that they earn. You see their household incomes and all that. Now, can you maybe for this, just in this few minutes, take us through that? Because I believe that you are talking as much as you are especially talking to Gauteng, but I believe this will be a template that speaks to the whole nation, and also to African nations that are listening today. Now tell me, now in the very wisdom that God has actually endured in your heart, what is it that we're supposed to do? Because we have brought up documents that needs to be communicated to the people. What is the communication?
Thank you very much, President. One of the things that the government of EcoForum is looking into food security is to make sure that, number one, we enhance communication.
That's right.
And also social capital, and social mobilization, enhance mobilizing.
Okay.
To make sure that this plantation of food, the seed that has to be planted on the land, has to be resourced well enough to close the gap between the economies.
All right.
Now, we do have urban economy, and we do have what we call the informal settlement economy. Now, when you look at our people who are living in informal settlement, in terms of them actually consuming and being able to get the right food,
that's right.
Then it becomes expensive for them, because the food that we see today, most of our people, they no longer plant it. Now they buy it. Now when you buy food and we don't have places where we can actually plant and be able to get the raw food that comes from the ground that God has already, recommended us to do, it becomes problem when it comes to health issues. We've got diabetic diseases that are chronic into our nations, and it costs us more money, because now also the level of inequality and also the level of poverty that we see today, it is because our only people that are on informal settlement are only known in this economy of food, selling only in tuck shops areas, selling food that they only take it from home cooking goes and on the city. We are saying we need to infiltrate the market from where food comes from our people in informal settlement, to be able to reach. And another thing that I love about our communities that they've come with very well, that needs our support as EcoForum, is you go in those local areas, you see stock fairs, where people are trying to buy food because they don't have money. And it comes December time, they want to gather food together so they can share among themselves. We need to encourage such initiatives like that one, because then now they break the inequality between the urban economy and also the township economy. Now our township economy, why there is poor, there is poverty, it is because it is food security. If proper food cannot reach our people and be able at the same time to do business from that level, then it is also a problem in terms of them being able to trade in economy that we call it urban.
Now, are you saying to me, because as I'm listening, you're saying to me, Dr. Mafura, that the problem that we have in South Africa, because we don't want to also talk only problems, we want to give solutions.
I hear you.
Now, you're saying the problem is that our people can reach food.
Yes.
Because I can remember that your Woolworths, you'll find them as far as the local localities, if I can put it that way.
I hear you.
It is only now where organized hubs are being brought to the communities in the form of malls.
Yes.
And I believe that someone has an interest into how they tap into the economy of the township.
I hear you.
Now our people will be able now to go and get what they are produced and buy from them. But you're saying to me the food that we are buying there, which I just wanted to slip a little bit there, that the food that we are buying there might not be the good food. It is. It could be there. That's why we've got the food that comes from starter shops, which our foreign international brothers have been actually selling. And some of the food is not good food. Yeah, some of the food has actually been tested to be, expired and not being produced in a good way. The processes were not actually healthy, if I can put it that way. And we are praying now that our people they don't even have a choice but to just get to a spaza shop. And once they get to the tuck shop and they can buy there and come back and buy a tin of fish and come back, But now we don't know what is in the tin of fish, because the production also, you see now, my standing here to preside is that the production of the people that I have to lead, it is actually at a risk, because they are not the producers. They are subservient consumers. So they can consume of anything, even if it's not good food. And they give it to the children, they give it to the families. So now it is important that as we speak right now, so the reason why the existence of this movement is that we need to emerge. How are we emerging? We are emerging and we are saying, now we want to become that the policy itself. We want to be the policy, but now its implementation will be also coming out of our leadership and our professionals into how to put this right, so that we have a plan, a 100-year plan. That's why we have a GPA 2100 that speaks towards us, so that it can this can give a lifespan. You see, this is like a doctor giving a patient an opportunity to live, or like God giving somebody an opportunity to live again another day. This is us standing as a government of Eco Forum. We say we want to give the people of South Africa another day, to have another day to live, because what we consume today determines our tomorrow. So now in a minute, I just want to hear, now as you are coughing it out, and just bring it out there, and let them receive this message, and also align it to campaign. Yes, as in terms of the plan.
Now, another thing that I think is important, President, that we need to fight for, is to understand that when we talk the urban economy,
that's right,
versus the locations. You realize that most of the people that depend to get food are from it. Now, whereas it's supposed to be vice versa.
All right.
Now we need to get to the position where the communities, when they are able to do their gardening, and when they are able to actually use the land that they have at the moment to do the food, must be able actually to produce food, must be able to take it and also sell it. But not only sell it, but let us start them there with agro-processing. Let us get the machines that will bring a final product within the community, so that they break a blockchain that is created by the system of the past. To say for them to get a proper food, you must go to such kind of shops where they can actually get. Whereas we are the indigenous people who knows where food comes from.
That's right.
Let us take it from our people and break it forth, agro-process it the right way it is, and take it from there and make sure that we go to these big economies of urban economies. So it cannot be that the supply chain is only run and ruled by monopolistic behavior that also gives our people food. That is not okay. So we are saying, as Eco Forum, we want to deal with the production procurement from the ground root phase level. We want to do with the processing and the consumption of healthy foods to develop a greater social capital. And also we want to improve food availability and accessibility to the most vulnerable, especially the elders, and those who are getting grants. So it cannot be that we want our people to live the best life and healthy life by only getting a grant, which they take that money, they go to these big shopping centers, and the next thing the money is gone. I have echo with you, President. Let us try by all means get the right food at the right time, and the seed that is not also contaminated, so that we can go back to a humankind when he was formed, to say it's for you to make food, you need to go plow. Now, we're living in the days today where obesity and sicknesses is too big in this country because we believe in a food that is a 2-minute food. For instance, if I want to eat right now, I can go right across the street that side and I can get food in 2 minutes and I eat. And it comes with the repercussions. It comes with a lot of problems of sicknesses in our community, and also lengthy years to live.
You know what? I'm taking up on that. Actually, you're making me boil a bit, because when you talk about also the insecurities, I'm thinking of my grandmothers, my grandfathers, and my fathers and mothers that are out there. Young men and young women that actually will also experience this injustice. So I feel it's on our shoulder as a government of Eco Forum to really stand out and say, this is our talk. But we are not just talkers. The reason why we are bringing a talk is because we know how to implement it. We've got systems in place in order to deal with this matter. But now I'm so much ecstatic in what you have just spoken, where you spoke about meaning the genetic engineering. I mean, you raised the point which I just want to go down to the GPA 2100 of the movement that says, now we need to also use a precautionary approach to help in approving, you see, in approving new food. In approving new food, we need quality assurance. We need quality assurance. You see, we cannot allow these things to continue happening while we have the SBS and who are the Bureau of Standards, but which standards are they putting? You cannot have a sector that has to standardize things, but you find that it is closed. Why? Because there are people who have actually begun to work. They have opened out some relationships of some food of lawlessness and low quality, and killing their people so that they can have money in their pocket. That thing must come to an end in this nation, and I am actually now pleading to every South African to get this knowledge, to say, now the food that we are eating, which we don't even have the product knowledge of it, it is ultimately, it does actually bring the ultimatum of death, because some sicknesses we don't even know about. That's why I've invited a professional today that is going to join us in order to begin to break it into pieces, so people can know why obesity, people can know why listeriosis, people can know why the TBs and the sicknesses that we thought they are actually curable are no longer curable. So now let me just, because we need to be on paper. People must know us with the paper. So now this is how it goes. Then we said now, then we need to approve new food production. And also, you spoke about it, processing technologies such as what? Genetic engineering and irradiation. It is very important, because this needs to be done accurately. But the other most important thing, we need to generously fund researchers that supports ecologically a sustainable production and organic systems. We need to support them. That's why when we talk township economy and also family agriculture, pastoralization, you know, we are talking about meaning a business that is family orientated. So that is where our grandfathers have started in terms of agriculture. And that's why today we are known as people who cannot actually farm, which is a myth, which is not the truth. The truth is that our grandfathers and mothers, they used to farm. They used to actually they used to plow. They used to actually, there was no bank in that time. They used to take what they have and take kids to school with their cows and with their produce. Now, it is not right to say a black man cannot actually be able to farm. So we want to change that so that we can bring that inclusive, secular, even farming, and also in agriculture and other. It is important to understand that as a nation, because we are natural farmers. So in that way, what we need is what? Funding. And so that when we fund this research, it shall surely bring and make a difference to our people. Now, people of South Africa, let me just bring it down to you in this way before I can drop it down to your heart to say, now, it is important to understand this. Food security is critical. It is one of those national interests that we have as a movement. And we are going to unpack it for the next, not even just for elections, but even after elections, because we have some secrets that we want to reveal. We cannot afford to allow this to happen, because now you need to know this is important. We can't afford. But now in the studio, I believe that we have. In the studio, I believe that we have. I have for you one of the daughters of the soil that has actually got an opportunity to be overseas. And I believe that this would be something of grace, meaning of greatness, because when you see a development of our young professionals that are actually now graced for such a time, and also getting such opportunities, and she's been in Russia and she can tell you herself and all those things. But now what we are going to talk about is to demystify the myth, because we're talking food security. We want to also touch those sensitive matters. You see, there's a matter which is sensitive, which I want us also to talk about, but even if it's not now, just to bear in mind, a matter of what? Of depopulation programs. Why are we subjected to become ends and become any other project of men of this world? We are not going to allow that subjectivity. We are coming to a time as a South Africa that even with its political anchoring, we are bringing reformation to say the truth must be spoken, not beginning to point one to another, bring one to another down. We need to bring what is taking our people down and stand against the relationships that are of old, that are actually speaking negative and also killing our people. Now, those are sensitive matters which I believe that the media must actually begin to engage in, so that we can come to the matter, what the problem is, and leave all those propagandizing media outrages and just trying to reach out to people and lie and grow some political parties. We are talking lives here. We are talking our people. We are talking our elders and sicknesses and diseases that have entered our nation. Now, I want to welcome, now in this very same mood, I'm welcoming in our studio Miss Prudence, and I believe that she will just open up her heart and tell you who she is as we continue the program. Hi, Prudence, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Are you good?
Yes.
I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Now, tell us this grace of you getting this opportunity to learn, especially about something so serious internationally.
Oh, okay, sir. I believe as South Africans we have the right to know.
Come on.
The future.
Yes. That's right.
If we can just go a step deeper, if there is GMO
That's right.
products.
That's right. That's right.
We are eating foods that are not healthy for our body.
Wow.
And remember, with the inorganic and organic products, they go differently.
Okay.
But with the inorganic, is that they can be the same every year. But
right.
different when it comes to organic products, because the seeds will give you every year.
All right.
So, and we have this problem that every year, every day on what they say, 60% of the food that we eat
every day. Yes.
Contains this potential dangerous within its DNA.
Is it? There are secrets in the DNA.
Yeah, there are.
Just tell me about that, the secrets that are there. Because you know, if there are secrets in the DNA, and people are beginning to reveal secrets of politicians and trying to attack other people, but there are secrets in the DNA that politicians can't see.
Yeah, the secret is the chemicals that are being used.
Wow, the chemicals.
When it comes to farming.